everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 696. We are that podcast talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I am Mako-chan.
Ari is off tonight. He is working mid-shift, so I think he may be with us next week. I believe next week is our DerbyCon episode, and I believe if that's the case, if everything goes the way I think it does, he'll be back in about 2 weeks. You know how we all figure this out one way or another, so it's how we do. And Podculture says over in our chat room at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, 696, nice. Well, if you are a Gen Xer like me, you go, to paraphrase, 696, excellent! Am I right or am I right?
Yeah.
Fair enough. So anywho, I'll take that as a win. So Mako-chan, how are you doing tonight?
I'm tired.
When aren't you tired?
When there is a day that does not end in Y.
Hey, that's a cop-out.
But it's the truth.
Well, I don't get it. How is it that you're always tired, but you work from home? It takes you less than 5 minutes to walk to your job.
Yeah. So?
But that's what I'm trying to understand. How is it you're always tired, but you get extra sleep because you work from home, and it takes you less than 5 minutes to walk to your job?
What extra sleep?
Don't you start at like 9?
No.
Well, damn.
I'm at 7 o'clock. I have to start work at 8. Granted, I usually snooze until about 7:50 because I do just have to roll out of bed and get onto the computer. But because of that, my dumbass stays up later.
Well, to be fair, back when I had to do the 10 to 7 shifts 3 nights a week, I'm guilty of doing the same damn thing. I'm like, I can stay up an extra half hour and watch that one more episode of that anime or that J-drama or something like that, you know, and then you're just like, crap. But for some reason, for me, as long as if I get up before 7, I'm just miserable because my body is not used to it. But if I get up around between 7:30 and 8, it's not so bad. It's like I feel kind of refreshed, you know, even though it is that time of the year where the window is covered by my blackout curtains and I got to take the air conditioner out, you know, and the way it's set up, it's like very little light comes in, you know, so it is about that. Anyhow, now that we got that out the way, let's get the show on the road tonight, shall we? Yes, we shall. Yeah. We are live tonight, week of October 26, 2025, right here on Twitch TV. And those of you who celebrate, happy Halloween, even though it's not until Friday, but getting it out the way now. So, actually, 28th. I said 26, my bad. 28th. You have to understand, I discovered last night that the extension pole in my monitor arm is bending, and I went to fix it. And it's the base that's kind of dug its way in a particular angle. So as I try to fix my microphone for better talking and so forth, it blocks the clock, so I can't see unless I remember to look at the clock on my Nexus. So either or. But then again, on Nexus, it just tells me the time, not the date. Whoever put that plugin together needs to update it. Anywho, you can always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also live here on Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at VogNetwork.com. And you should check them out, Twitch TV/VogNetwork. And then when you finish doing that, come hang out in our Discord, vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's a part of Voice of Geeks Network has a channel, so come through, hang out with us, and the water is just fine. And now that we got that out today, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to kick it over to Mako-chan and ask her how was her weekend day. So, Mako-chan, how was your weekend day?
Not bad. Hung out with some friends this weekend. Dog sat this weekend. Got a really tasty peanut butter mousse bomb thing, and it was very, very tasty.
Ooh.
Uh,
Sounds
but
like ice
yeah,
cream.
Hmm?
Sounds like ice cream.
Well, no, it's li- my mother got it for me while she was out.
Mm.
She went into Pennsylvania,
Ah.
and she brought home, it's a chocolate mousse covered in chocolate on a base of like a peanut butter cookie.
Sounds interesting.
And I mean peanut butter mousse. So peanut butter mousse on a peanut butter cookie, the whole thing is dipped in chocolate and rolled in nuts. So yeah, that was very tasty.
Mm.
But yeah, that's really about it. I got Pokemon ZA and I've been playing that. I really shouldn't be playing that, but I've been playing that.
Why should you not be playing that?
Because I have other things to do.
Okay. You can't see it very well if you're watching this. If you're watching this video, the show, to my right, you can see like my part of one of my cabinets, my shelves, and up there is a bunch of video games, and behind there is a stack more of Xbox games. I have Xbox games going back about 5, maybe 6 years. Some of them I have not unwrapped because I have no reason to. If they're unwrapped, that means there was some freebies in there I was trying to redeem the codes for. A little further down is my stacks of PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. Same thing. The only thing you won't see over there are the Switch games because I take the Switch games out and put them in a little, how you say, case right here, and I put the rest of the Switch games, in storage. So whenever I hang out with Mako, I drop them off. When she gets a free moment, she takes them to the storage, drops them in a box, and call it a day. So there is that. So I understand the whole gaming backlog because I had gone.
It's not even the gaming backlog.
Oh,
I have 5 fake Lego projects going at the same time right now.
Jesus, woman!
Because I start one and get bored with it and switch to another one and get bored with it.
How do you get bored with one of the Lego sets?
It's the fake ones.
I know, but still, how do you get bored with it?
Because, like, these are the ones that are the teeny tiny little itty bitty bricks.
Like the nano blocks?
I think they're smaller than that.
Jesus.
Like, these are the, like, from overseas fake bullshits.
Yeah, I know. I have a couple of Sailor Moon ones, and they're both Venus. I have one in a box, and the other one is actually assembled. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I started one of those, and I stopped that one because the way that it's set up, I have to glue it.
Oh.
It's supposed to look like a floating island. So there are literally only 2 holds on it that are supposed to look like water flowing off of it. So those are the only 2 pieces that are actually holding a majority of the weight. So as I was putting that together, I just have like the house on top of it now to put together. It was so unstable. I said, you know what, I have to wait until I can glue it. I have the glue. I just haven't, sat down and grabbed it again.
All right, so let me ask you this. If you're saying it's so unstable, how many people on your Facebook you can compare that to?
On my Facebook?
Yes, of instability.
Just the ones that you know personally?
In general, I don't have to know them.
or just general?
In general.
I gotta say, I've got probably like 150 to 200 people on my Facebook, and I think like 80 to 90 of them. So if we're gonna go for that, I should just keep my mouth shut. But yeah. Anyway, so I have
hold up. Pod Culture just wrapped it up. 50 points to his team. Would you like that list alphabetically or length of time I have known them? Oh, God.
Well, if we're gonna go length of time I have known them, this jackass is right up there at the top of that list.
Compared
Probably,
to some,
maybe number 3, number 4.
I was about to say, in comparison to some of the people that we both know, there's no way in hell I'd be number 1. There's no way.
Well, if we're talking about how long I've known you, family would be the only ones ahead of you.
And I'm perfectly okay with that. Oh, God.
Anyway.
Right.
So on top of that one, I have one that I started that, again, I have to glue it because I'm shipping it to Arizona once it's done. So those are put aside, and I'm putting together a wooden one of the Book Nook kits. That one I'm almost done with, but I had to stop because that's not using super glue. That's using Elmer's glue to put it together. So that one is just on a drying period. I have one that I'm just putting lights into, and then I have the one that I started last weekend. And that one I got tired, so I stopped. So all I have is Kakashi's head done.
Come November, we're going to see a series of Lego builds, and it's the Goonies build, and you're gonna hear from Mako-chan. All my other projects are on hold until further notice. One third of the way in. Hold up.
I wish I had Goonie Lego money.
A third of the way in, she's gonna see this little Lego set, buy that, and put the Goonie set on hold just to complete that. You have Lego ADD.
When I am doing legit Lego sets, I sit and I do the whole freaking set. It's the little teeny tiny bricks that I have to, pace myself because it starts hurting my fingers when I'm pushing the bricks in. Legit Lego sets, those I get through really quickly.
Gotcha.
I just don't have Lego money.
Right. That and those bootleg Lego sets.
I have fake Lego money.
Yeah, like those bootleg Lego sets, the molds are probably like uneven, which just probably causes those issues most of the time anyway. So it's like when you see like, oh, I want that gashapon. And you're like, we got gashapons at home, and instead of going to Good Smile to buy that gashapon for like $50, you go on to AliExpress or Temu and you buy it for $10 and you get it, and then you're like, why does this gashapon have a sad face?
Yeah, the eyes are offset.
Yes.
Yeah.
I admit, if I drop good money on a gashapon or a figure or something like that I want to carry around, I will buy a knockoff. And I'll look for the one that has the closest resembling face and just put it on. That way, if I happen to lose it, I won't spend any money, that much money. The only exception is on my book bag, I actually have actual gashapons on there because I think I spent less than $6 or $7 for them both, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, there are so many Lego sets. I just thinking about it hurts my wallet.
Yep, I understand.
Like,
Can't.
I could name 3 sets
Oh
off the
god.
top of my head that I want that are all over the $250 mark.
I
And they're huge sets, and I want all 3 of them.
when you ponder putting out a taking out a loan to get them, at that point I know to cut you off.
Yeah, no, no. I'm not gonna be putting out loan money for Lego.
Yeah. Then again, I know cosplayers have done this stuff like that for convention. I'm like, you know what? Anywho, anything else to add?
Uh, no.
Okay.
Just that I have a very giant plush.
Bats Maru, who is tired of your shit.
Yes, yes. This is a laying down Bats Maru. It is freaking huge. I mean, you can see my arm.
That's Nestleberry status.
Yeah, yeah. This is uh from overseas. I got it at a convention 2 or 3 years ago now. I think 2 years. Um but yeah, so I'm showing off my bats. But I was gonna put it that way, and it just looks like a head pillow.
And Bats is judging everybody who's watching the stream.
Yeah, but I mean, you can see it's a very large. It's a very large plush.
Fair enough. And I think it's funny that you and a bunch of other people have threatened to buy me Love Life Nestleberries. I'm just like, please don't. Because number one, I don't have any place to put them. The only thing that I have that's about as big as me is a Sailor Venus body pillow, and I bought it because it was Sailor Venus, and I thought it was freaking cool.
Which is actually sitting in my house right now.
Yep. And the entire time I had it, when I had roommates, it sat in the living room as part of the couch. Because everybody in the house were a bunch of geeks anyway, so it made sense. So, anywho, my weekend day was kind of interesting per se. So I'm going to talk a little adult here, and I'm going to tread lightly. That way we don't get pinged. Then again, as much cursing as we do, I'm surprised we don't get pinged. But Friday, I went to Exotica. Now, for those of you who don't know, Exotica is an adult convention that talks about bondage, kink, sex, anything along those lines. There are content creators there are stars there. You can buy stuff. You can buy non-adult stuff like Patty's favorite booth that sells the pickles. They were there.
I am not surprised that a pickle vendor was there.
And Wild Bill was there too. Then again, Wild Bill is at almost all those places.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a couple of times there were conventions, and I think 1 or 2 times I was like, "Fuck! If I had known, I would have brought my cup." Which is probably why I have 6 of those damn mugs. So you know. So I went and I had a good time, and I interacted with a couple of people. You know, there was one creator I want to get an autograph of. Couldn't find her. I was like, oh well, next year, whatever. I met this other girl, and she's trying to convince me to come to the Etchy Expo in Texas. And I'm like, I don't know if I have Etchy Expo money, but I'll follow you on my socials. So if you're in the area again, I'll come through and say hi. Or if I can make it down, I'll make it down. So there is that. And that was fun. And Saturday was my grandmother's 90th birthday party. Her birthday was actually last week, but she decided to have the party that Saturday. And my stupid self forgot to give her birthday card. Because the funny thing is, I want you to understand something. My grandparents are 17 days apart. And I've known this basically my entire life, to the point, not that it was 17 days, but I know their birthdays were in the same month. I knew it was like between 7 and 10 days. And I always forgot, and I always got mixed up, and I always got lit up by my grandmother about it. So after I called her to talk to her and stuff like that a couple of weeks ago, she told me that Grandpa's on the 1st and she's on the 17th, and I actually put it down in my calendar in Google Calendar. I put it down so it's saved. So she was talking about how she's having a party, and I was like, I will be in Jersey that weekend. I'm like a half hour away. Come to figure out, I'm a half hour away driving, an hour away train. So I made it out there. The interesting thing is, I thought the party was going to be at night, 6 o'clock at night. And I called my grandmother around 12. No answer. So I'm like, oh, she's probably prepping and all that stuff. I call around 2:15, and she's like, baby, the party starts at 3. Your grandmother's too old to be out here at this time of night. And I'm just like, oh, because this is a woman who will get dressed to the nines just to go to the Target. I'm just saying. She won't get fancy, but she will get dressed and go to Target in her van. Just saying. So she was basically saying, if it's going to take you more than 2 hours to get out here, don't worry about it. Come out another time. I'm like, no, I am in Jersey. I'm not too far. So I got to in the shower, get dressed. Cece Grey Witch was kind enough to drop me off. So, and I saw family. And I saw some people in the family I hadn't seen in years. And you want to know something? It was good to be around family in a positive setting. Because let's be real. The only time your family gets together is when somebody dies. And that happens more often than when somebody gets hitched. And when somebody gets hitched, it's selected people of the family. When everybody just shows up out of nowhere. But and I totally get that. So, you know, so that was fun, and that was fine, and I enjoyed that. You know, the only issue that I had was my cousin was telling me that, about going down to Atlanta to work, and I'm like, I don't want to go down there for XYZ reasons, and I guess she was chiding me about it, but I'm like, absolutely not. And then somebody in the family got it upon them to scan pictures of the family digitally. That's cool. And they had a couple of pictures of my mother. And they were asking me if I wanted to see them. I'm like, I do not. I'd rather not see them. And I think my cousin got offended. But the thing is, she doesn't know the history. And I'm sitting right next to my grandmother, and she overheard the conversation. And I look over, she just simply nods because her and my grandfather completely understand the story. She gets it. So there's that, and that's done with that, and that's good. So, a couple more things that we'll get into, housekeeping and so forth. I come back home Sunday night, and I see my roommate who lives right next door, like in the room next door. He's packing up and stuff, and I saw his air conditioner sitting in the hall in the foyer area, and I'm thinking it's the air conditioner in the living room / gym. Come to find out they're both identical. He's like, he hit the lottery, so he got the apartment line. He's moving out at the end of the week. I am going to call the landlord tomorrow and see if I can move into the room across next to me, which is about, I say maybe double this, 1.5 the size of this room here. The only downside is that the closets are outside. And I'm used to that. When I used to live with my mother, she had, I think, 2 external closets. And when I was living with her, I took one of those closets. So I'm used to that. My main thing is making sure everything is spread out. And I want a clothes rack. And what I'm going to do with that clothes rack is hang up all of my nerdy shirts and just hang them up and just leave them there. Because in these drawers here, you can't see where I'm pointing, but I have anime and geeky t-shirts going back to like near 2000. They're like nearly 25 years old. I have a Samurai Champloo long sleeve shirt that's at least 23 years old. 20 years old. I bought that at Fanime when I first met the entire cast of Orange Lounge Radio. So, and the way things are, it's hard for me to go through these drawers to find whatever shirt I want. So I find myself rotating through between like 10 or 15 of the same shirts unless I go digging and rotate them out. So if I have like a clothing rack where they're all hanging, I can just be like, oh, perfect. And I just grab that and go. That's the only thing I care about. That and maybe a bigger desk so I have more real estate space to work, you know. And it would be nice to have my desktop, aka Daitenshi, sitting on the outside of my desk where I can stretch my legs. Mm-hmm. So there is that. And I went to the doctor today. It's for an endocrinologist. Suffice to say, I am roughly down 20 pounds, which is a good thing. My end goal is to hit 250 and just chill right there because that's how I feel. And I look at some of the pictures from over the weekend, I could tell from my gut that I have lost weight. And I'm just like, it's a good thing. And I knew going into this whole weight loss thing, it's going to be a slow, gradual thing. And I'm perfectly okay with that. So my doctor wanted me to get some blood tests done and all this other stuff. And I knew I had to do it, but I lost the paper for that. And I think I threw it in the trash when I was cleaning up last week. So she's like, do you have time to get it done today? I was like, yeah, sure. I got time today. So she's like, oh, it's basically across the street. The medical center comprises, or in this case, the campus, comprises of 2 blocks. The first block is the hospital itself with everything in. Across the street is the children's hospital, the children's ER, and like the specialty office for like endocrinology, pulmonary. There is the mental health institute right next to it and all of that. So I'm thinking when they say across the street, you go across the street. And that's what I did. And I spoke to security, like, go up to the 3rd floor. And I'm like, 3rd floor is pulmonary and specialty stuff. I don't see anything like that. I get up to the 3rd floor and look around. So one of the people look at me and he's like, do you need help? And I explain it. They're like, oh, no, it's across the street. There's like, go back to the building you're in, go on the 1st floor. Okay, so I go back to the specialty building, 1st floor. And I speak to the woman and I tell her I need some blood work done. And she's like, no. Go down this hallway, go outside, make a left, and go down to the corner and turn. Okay, that's simple. Easy. Now, you have to understand, when it comes to living in New York City, the 5 boroughs, my mindset since living out here is like going from A to B. I don't explore this. I need to go from A to B, B to A. That's it, done. So I don't know where certain things are unless I Google map it. Because my plan was to see the endocrinologist, go see my primary care practitioner about my elbow, and get the blood work done. So I go to the end of the corner, to the end of the block, turn, start walking down. It's the damn medical building where I get my blood work done on a regular basis. I did not realize it was on the same block that I normally go to see my endocrinologist. And I sat there and I'm thinking about it. Well, then again, when I'm going back home, there are 2 buses I take when I go to the endo. When I'm coming back from the lab, I didn't realize I'm taking those same 2 buses. It's just that I'm like a block up and I paid in them. I was like, oh, it all comes full circle. So, and as Bonzo 06 says, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Unless you live in Boston. Because fuck you, that's why. And that's been my interesting week. So tomorrow, I'm going to start packing for DerpyCon. I actually got a new suitcase because the old one, the stitching is starting to go. And I realized I've had that suitcase for about 6 years. So I got a nice, good use out of it for using it maybe 4 or 5 times a year, maybe 6. So I'm perfectly okay with that. So that's all we're said and done with. So that's been my weekend day. So now we're going to go ahead and get into some housekeeping notes here. We want to let you know what's going on with the podcast and so forth. Podcast VODs are available on our YouTube page, youtube.com/AnimeJamSession. And Right there, you'll see our most recent episodes right there on the page. But if you want to hear or watch our older episodes, click on playlist tab. And you'll see the entire. You see the podcast tab. You'll see the entire playlist of episodes, and you're golden. And you're good to go. I'm gonna see about putting up another section where you can just pick the episode you want to watch or listen to, as opposed to just clicking on a playlist. It is what it is. So we got that out the way. Also want to let you know that our final convention of the year is this weekend. DerpyCon 2025 at the New Brunswick Hyatt in New Brunswick, New Jersey. If you're local to the area, NJ Transit to New Brunswick. When you leave the train station, make a left and you go down a block and a half, and it's on the right-hand side. You can't miss it. I will be doing 2 panels that weekend. Friday at 12:45 will be my Twitch Streaming 101 panel, where you learn about the hardware you need to do a Twitch stream. Once you got your hardware together, do your software as is. I don't do panels about that because there's so many people on YouTube that can help you with that. And then at Sunday at 3:30, and this panel may run over because it's probably the last panel of the day, and I don't know why they put it at that time slot, but it is what it is I call it Japan 101, but it's called Let's Go to Japan. And this panel, I will tell you about the paperwork you need to do to get to Japan, your passport, planning your flights, your hotels, everything that you need to know from start to finish. And then once you get to Japan, cool stuff to do, where to buy some of the stuff that you want to buy, and what to do when you realize you've made a mistake and you've bought about $350 worth of figures that would have ran you about $1,500 stateside, and how to get it home. So now that's going to be fun. And I come to the realization on my next trip to Japan, I realize I have not been following figures as much because a lot of the figures that are coming out are for series I'm not really interested in. So I think on my 3rd trip to Japan, it's going to be a lot more sightseeing and casual stuff. So I think this time it'll be okay to start in Akihabara, but we'll figure things out as we go along. So now that we got that out the way, I also want to let you know, in case you haven't heard yet, Orange Lounge Radio, the internet's longest running video game podcast and radio show, is coming to an end. They are now on their final arc. So please tune in and check them out Sundays at 9 p.m. on Twitch TV/VOD Network. Final episode is November 23rd, and if you're a DDR enthusiast, you'll gladly understand the reference. So, plus I have a little special for y'all that I'm throwing in there that I'm fine-tuning and tweaking as we speak. So I hope y'all really enjoy the love I put behind this little thing that I've done. And for those of you who know the work that I do for the show, y'all are in for a real treat. So there's that. So now that we got that out the way, let's kick things off with Sailor Moon. Mako, I'll start it off. We can just go back and forth, because I know the spooky thing is more up your alley.
Sure.
All right. Now, if I can just get this thing to go up. There we go. Now, one of the things I was really excited about going to Japan for is checking out the Sailor Moon Shining Theater, Shining Moon Cafe, but it had closed due to COVID. It was like, before I even thought about really like making plans to Japan, I was like, I want to go there. Thankfully, I was able to check out the Sailor Moon store, which was really cool. But it seems that the theater is coming back, and it looks like on my 3rd trip to Japan, I'm going to be able to have fun with that. And I'm probably going to wear one of my favorite Venus shirt and Artemis hat. I think I have somewhere in storage. I have to find it. But anywho, let's get into this story. So it's been 6 years since the Shining Moon Tokyo Cafe had closed, but it's coming back. On the official website, they announced that Sailor Moon Shining Theater Shinagawa, Tokyo will open in April of next year after going on hiatus due to the pandemic, as I had mentioned previously. The theatrical show will allow fans to enjoy a spectacular and impactful stage performance focusing on an original story featuring the 10 Sailor Guardians. Tickets will go on sale in early 2026, with more information about the production expected to be announced in the coming months. Tickets will be available for domestic audiences as well as international tourists. That's even better. And you know what? I might actually wear my Sailor Venus soccer jersey That's one of my favorite things. So anyhow, the new Sailor Moon show is based on the concept of the 2019 theater restaurant production Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Shining Moon Tokyo, which originally operated in Usagi's hometown of Azabo Juban, Tokyo, which I discovered after watching a couple of YouTube videos is a very expensive district in Tokyo, like Ginza. Evidently, Azabu Juban's where all the rich people live. Go fig. So as a result of the show plan's intimate nature, it'll give fans the opportunity to enjoy the Sailor Moon story like never before. The press release teased an immersive experience for Sailor Moon fans, which includes greetings from the cast and original themed drinks that will be available for patrons. The show will be performed at the Club EX Circular Theater Hall, located at the Prince Hotel in Shinagawa, Tokyo, which has a 450-person capacity, making it a more personal and limited experience. The show's composition and direction will be led by Go Ueki, who worked on Attack on Titan the musical. The script will be done by Shinjiro Kameda. Visual art and theater design will be overseen by Linda Wataru Igarashi, who handled the prior Sailor Moon Shining Moon Tokyo production and the Sailor Moon Soar, which is really nice. We do not know who's going to be in the cast at this time. It would be kind of cool for the grand opening. They have the UK cast there for a performance, and the US cast for a performance, and then the regular cast. That'd be kind of cool. The new Sailor Moon theater show follows a string of successful live theatrical productions based on the hit manga. 40 musicals have been released to date, with more than 800 performances taking place around the world. And me and Mako-chan are some of the lucky few to have seen it twice in the States.
Mm-hmm.
It had gone back to Japan with later plans to head into China. Sailor Moon rose to prominence in the 90s with its manga and hit anime adaptation. The series follows a young schoolgirl named Usagi Tsukino as she transforms into the magical girl, Sailor Moon, and saves the world from increasingly powerful cosmic threats. Since the beginning, the series has received global critical acclaim and sold over 46 million copies worldwide. Its anime adaptation has also left a huge cultural legacy, polarizing anime for Western audiences and launching a franchise that has expanded to include film, video games, theatrical productions like PGSM Shining Theater, Shinagawa, Tokyo. Tickets for the production will go on sale in early 2026. Now, I have a slight issue with video games. The last video game for Sailor Moon we had was Sailor Moon La Luna Splende, a DS puzzle game that came out in Italy only. I just find it interesting that Sailor Moon is critically acclaimed, worldwide, so popular, and yet One Piece gets 5 video games. Explain that one, Toei. I have all the time in the world. Anywho, while I wait for Toei to get back to me, Mako's going to tell us about Hello Kitty.
I am I?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so Hello Kitty is getting a little bit spooky. So, Junji Ito's Tomi and Sanrio's Hello Kitty are crossing over for a limited time online lottery kicking off next month. Customers can buy draws online at 950 yen per draw, excluding shipping, each of which will earn them an item from one of 5 categories. Top prizes are a double-sided frilled cushion, which is prize A, and one of 2 soft keychains, which is prize B. The pillow, one half of it is looks like normal Hello Kitty kind of print. The other side of it is Tomi with Hello Kitty gear on. And the keychains are the drawn Hello Kitty in the Junji Ito style, and a separate little heart of the character. Other prizes will include tote bags, pouches, and hair accessories. The online lottery will run from November 7 to 25th, with prizes shipping out on November 30th.
Interesting.
Uh, yeah. So if you are a fan of Spooky or a fan of Hello Kitty and probably have the ability to have something shipped internally in Japan and still get it, you can go ahead and check this out.
It is kind of spooky. Yeah, and to go back to what you said about shipping, yeah, that's going to suck having to pay extra if you know somebody who ends up winning it for you and you have to just send it back. And that's something I have to talk about in my panel about going to Japan. It's good in a way. It's going to be much cheaper to buy a suitcase and just put all the merch that you want to take back and just drag it with you. Might just be
Yeah.
cheaper that way.
I'm looking at this. There is, I don't know if this is a hair clip or a pin.
Mm.
But it's Hello Kitty drawn in the manga style inside of a red heart, but the heart is dripping blood. Like that right there is seems the perfect thing.
And yet, Sanrio will lose their shit if you put out a Hello Kitty knife.
Well, I mean, technically there are people that have a Hello Kitty knife out there.
But it's unofficial.
Well, yeah. So is the Hello Kitty AK-47.
But the Hello Kitty shoulder massager is actually a legit product.
Yes, it is.
And for those of you who don't know what we're talking
That's
about
all
with
that
that,
matters.
go ahead and Google it. You're welcome. The fact that my roommate actually has two of them. Huh. I ain't surprised by that.
Anyway,
Yes. Moving right along, sitting fancy free, we're going to talk about Super Mario. Woohoo! I actually did that pretty well. Mario is celebrating for his 40th anniversary with a Thanksgiving Day parade. We've had the Year of Luigi. Now we have 40th birthday of Super Mario Brothers, which is really cool. So basically, what's going to happen is that the celebration and the party is going to continue at the 99th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Nintendo of America and Macy's announced that a new Mario balloon that marked the 40 years since the original Super Mario Bros. Game launched back in 1985. The Mario balloon measures 51 feet and 2 inches long, 37 feet wide, and 43 feet and 8 inches tall. Damn. Decked out in his classic outfit, Mario sports a pose inspired by his appearance in the game Super Mario Galaxy, which recently returned in a collection and will be the focus of the next CG animated film. Meanwhile, we don't know where the hell Daisy is, so Miyamoto, writers, get on that. You'll be able to catch Mario taking to the skies and hopefully not running into any issues like Sonic did in 1993 or Luffy did 2 years ago when the 99th Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade airs on TV and streams on Peacock Thursday, November 27th. And I think like they didn't have the parade the year of COVID, right?
No, I think they did.
Okay, because I was like, if they didn't, this would have made it 100 years.
Yeah, I think they did.
Okay, I just couldn't remember. I know I was in 30 Rock for the 2019 parade, which I thought was really cool. So there is that. Okay, Mako, what's going on with Cutie Honey? Looks like they're bringing her back for another run.
Yeah. So it was announced on Monday that Go Nagai's Cutie Honey is going to get a 15 episode live action short drama series. It's going to be titled Cute Honey Beloved Enemy and will debut on the DMM Short app on November 25th. Influencer and model Natsuki Abe stars as the titular character. Obviously, this is based off of a, an older manga
Mm-hmm.
from the 70s. But the manga is follows Cutie Honey, an android created by Professor Kisaragi. When he is murdered by an organization seeking the device within her, she seeks revenge. It has inspired multiple manga and manga remakes, anime adaptations, through television and home video, a live action film, a live action television
Mm-hmm.
series. It's licensed all over the freaking place. Um, so yeah. If you are interested in that, that will be coming up in November.
And somebody will find their way to get it on the app and pull the episodes and upload them for everyone to watch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, I remember watching one of the older series back in the day, which I thought was really cool. And I remember watching the live action. I think it was called Cutie Honey the Live, and that was just cracked out like nobody else's business, you know. And I forget who did the who sang Honey Flash. Absolutely forgot who sang it, but I know it. No, Kodakumi. Yeah, Kodakumi sang it, and I thought it was a really cool cover. Maybe that'll be the next project after Dirty Pair. You have the complete Cutie Honey Kickstarter, but yeah, you know how that last one went.
Honey already.
What?
I thought they. Well, I don't. No, I thought it was just re-released in 23.
I I have not kept up with it, so I know
Um,
Discotech re-released it. So I don't know if Re Cutie Honey is another TV series.
yeah, so
Okay,
Discotech licensed Re Cutie Honey
okay,
for Blu-ray with a new English dub in 2023.
yeah. So that was another remake of one of the series because there's multiple Cutie Honey series. I'm going to Wikipedia real quick and let's see. So we have the original 1973 series. Then we have New Cutie Honey that came out in '94. Then you had Cutie Honey Flash that came out in '97. Then it was Re Cutie Honey that came out in 2004 that expands the live action movie that came out around that time. And then you had Cutie Honey Universe that came out in 2018. And I think that was I think they kind of made that an akin to like more of a magical girl style anime, something like that. Yeah, so when it came to live action, you had Cutie Honey the Live, and then they did another one 2 years later called Cutie Honey Tears, which I didn't even know about. And then you have the live TV series. It's just a whole lot of stuff. And then there are video games and stage plays. Good enough for me. All right. A couple more stories before we get into Meanwhile in Japan. We got some great stories about that. Before we get into that, CDBeery says that it was released in the US and the Sister Mickey storyline was so depressing. Now, are we talking Persona 5 Futaba depressing or what? Because if it's along those lines, then, ooh, that's going to be a hard one to swallow. So now we're going to talk about FanimeCon. They're announcing a dedicated dojinshi event. And for me, I'm trying to picture them doing some type of an Americanized version of Comic Cat, which could be a great thing, or it can go terribly, horribly wrong. I mean, look what happened to Manga Next. Anywho,
but
so what's happening is that on Fanime announced on their Twitter account that they will be launching Manga Achiba, an event for artists who make and sell self-published comics and other materials known as dojinshis. And this is going to happen next year. The organizers claim the new event will be North America's first event of its kind for English language dojins. FanimeCon has opened up a website for more information, and you can get the information at fanime.com/exhibits slash the dash oasis slash manga slash Achiba. Frankly, I think they should have called it Fanime Dojinshi Shop or something like that, but it is what it is. FanimeCon was held on May 23rd to 26th at the San Jose McEnery Convention Center in San Jose, California. The San Francisco Bay Area once hosted the Alternative Press Expo for alternative comics from 1994 to 2017. Except for the first year, Comic-Con International, which is the people who run San Diego Comic-Con, organized the event. Japan frequently hosts similar events throughout the year, including the Comic Market, better known as Comic-Cat. The first Comic-Cat happened in 1975, 32 exhibiting circles with 700 attendees. Tokyo's Harumi area, Chiba's Makuhari Messe venue, and other places hosted the event before it moved to the current Tokyo Big Sight location for Comic-Cat 50 in 1996. Comic-Cat 106 ran from August 16th to the 17th at the Big Sight Tokyo and drew about 250,000 people. Now, if I'm not mistaken, they do this twice a year. There's Winter and Summer Comic-Cat, and you have cosplayers who show up. You have people who cosplay from the doujins, and you have people who just cosplay from regular animes and so forth. And let me tell you, the photography there is a lot more classy than here. Like, you will see women wearing all types of outfits to completely detailed to like maybe less than much based on the character, and you'll see like this giant circle of photographers, and they're all just there taking pictures, and nobody's moving out of place, and he's got one person who's directing the cosplayer to do this and do that, turn around, and then they all say thank you and exchange cards and walk away. I would love to be a part of an event where something like that does happen, as opposed to here where you got cosplayers more or less you got photographers basically fighting over which cosplayer they want to work with, or they're taking up all the time and this and that. It's just, I'll be it for me to know. So hopefully FanimeCon Dojin show will be similar to Comic-Cat. You know, you have like the rows of tables of people selling their books and so forth, which is cool, and a section, area outside for cosplayers and stuff like that. So I hope it's something like that. It'd be pretty cool. All right, and now our last story of the night. We're going to talk about Webtoon and Disney, which is an odd combination.
Not as much as you would think.
Oh, yeah?
So this was announced at New York Comic Con. Webtoon Entertainment and Disney, they are already in a collaboration for releasing Disney and Marvel comics onto the Webtoon in the vertical format. They are going to be adding Astonishing X-Men, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Stitch Samurai, The Complete Collection, Star Wars Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red, and Star Wars Lost Stars. They are also, Webtoon also announced that they are collaborating with Dark Horse Comics on Stranger Things The Other Side. So those will all be coming up on the Webtoons app. There's also going to be Plants vs. Zombies from Dark Horse. That should be coming out on November 1st. But again, they have a multi-year collaboration. They're looking to adapt and distribute about 100 different comics between Disney, Marvel, 20th Century Studio, and Star Wars.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they're already out on other platforms. This is just being reformatted to the vertical scroll format that Webtoon uses.
Sounds good.
So I'm kind of excited to see so many actual comics on there. I do like the vertical form. It's much easier to be able to read something on your phone or on your tablet. So I do like the vertical format for that. I also like that there's so many different options on webtoons. So it's not just Disney, it's not just Marvel, it's not just Dark Horse.
Okay.
And they've got tons of things from, manga, because I know that they have one of the Batman family stories on there. They've got Full Metal Alchemist on there. They have the original Avatar comics on there now. So it's definitely a decent place for a mix of companies.
Sounds good. And I know there's one site I go to where I read some mangas and some comics. And what sucks is that it doesn't have like a server side bookmark option. And it's like I've done a lot of reading of some of the books on their site on my tablet, and I have to, if I want to read it on my phone, I gotta pull up my tablet so I know exactly where I left off so I can jump to that page, or if I'm on my desktop and having to jump to that page. And I've been checking the site, like they don't have that. So, and it's probably one of the reasons why I haven't been really keeping up with comics on their site, because of that option. Because it'd be cool to go from one device to another to pick up right where you left off. So. And Bonzo06 says, Plants vs. Zombie comics. Okay, my girlfriend needs to know about that. Well, go ahead and tell her now, and give the gift of a webtoon subscription while you're at it so she can read all of it. You'll be the best boyfriend ever. And now that we got that out the way, we're ready to get into the part of the show that y'all really stick around for and enjoy. Meanwhile, in Japan. So, Mako, you get first dibs. As always.
I'm gonna go with the last one.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, I am going to go with the first one, and depending on the time, I might even go into the second one after you do your story. Because
Sounds good.
it sounds interesting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, the reason why I'm going to take the first story is because if you remember when I talked about my trip to Japan back in 2023, I raved about how, I was able to go onto the trains and sit my tuchus down on the seats, and it's not no hard plastic seat. It's a nice, soft, cushioned seat with actual working heat. Now, if you live in New York City, if you rode the A, B, or C trains, and I know maybe the W a couple of at a time, there were heaters underneath the seats that kept you warm, but not anymore. So there is that, And Bonzo06 says all that shade on our New York City transit. I'm not wrong though. I have friends that work for New York City Transit that agree with me, so there is that. Anywho, what we're going to talk about is bringing the warmth of a Japanese train seat heat into the comfort of your own home. It's been a particularly odd year for weather in Japan, with the heat lingering until just a few days ago when temperatures fell dramatically to winter-like levels. And I'm feeling that now because of the upcoming hurricane and nor'easter that's hitting the West Indies right now, so in the Caribbean. As it feels like we're skipping autumn and going straight to winter, we're already looking for things to keep us warm. And this year is a new product to give us one of the most comforting features of a Japanese winter: train seat heating. No konatsu table. Train seat heating. Created by Thanko, the quirky innovators who brought us the hot airbag clothes dryer, the chair umbrella. This clever product lets you enjoy the cozy warmth of a heated Japanese train seat right in the comfort of your home or office. It came out last month. The Like a Train Seat heater provides calf-warming comfort in a choice of 3 different colors: red, green, and gray, which are reminiscent of real train seat upholstery to make you feel like you're actually sitting on a train. I like that. While Japanese trains tend to push air out from the heaters underneath the seat, this product replicates that action with 4 heating zones, 2 under the thighs and 2 behind the calves, warming up those hard-to-reach areas. The calf section includes a polycarbonate board with built-in springiness so the heating element feels comfortable against your lower legs. I like that. It's also designed with raised edges to recreate the snug fit of a train seat, which might just send you off into the same sort of blissful slumber you might enjoy on a long train ride. Powered by USB, the temperature can be adjusted high, from low to high, which is 42, 44, and 46 degrees Celsius, using a wired remote control. It automatically switches off after an hour to prevent overheating and as a safeguard in case you forget to turn it off. With a storage pocket for a mobile battery that's included, the operating time is about 4 hours on high, 5 hours on medium, and 6 hours on low. I like this already. You mean to tell me I can take this seat anywhere and plop it down and plug in a battery and have a warm seat? Sign me up. There are a lot of products in the market that'll keep your body warm in winter, but you'll be hard pressed to find one that warms you like the heat of a sensation of a cozy Japanese train ride as well. The Leica train seat holder is priced at 6,980 yen, which is equivalent to $45.70 in US dollars, and can be purchased at their official online store and physical retail locations. And you can just go to fanco.jp for more information about that. Part of me wants to see if I can secure one when I go next year. And Bonzo says, I admit after looking it up, I want one for work. See? And I know they have like the same thing for like coats and jackets, but it'd be cool if there's like a USB coat where the inner lining is like heating and you just plug a battery in and you're just golden. Keep yourself warm while going from the house to the subway. All right, Mako-chan, you're up next.
Yeah. So, you can go ahead and have dinner at dinner and a show, but it's dinner and a sumo show. So, a traditional sumo match is, uh, you know, a fascinating glimpse into years of history and Japanese culture. It's always a worthwhile outing. However, an incredible cultural experience as it may be, it's a very structured and formal affair that can often have barriers to understanding or access for international visitors. Um, the goal of the Sumo Live restaurant is to create an experience that is more accessible and more personal for all those who attend. So, following the success in Osaka, which has already welcomed over 50,000 guests from 120 countries since it opened in May of last year, comes a brand new venue in Tokyo that is set to open on January 7th. Visitors to the restaurant can expect to enjoy a 2-hour full sensory adventure that blends sumo, fine Japanese cuisine, and his hilarious antics. There are 3 types of seats available. This includes tax, meal, and drinks are separate. So there is a VIP ringside seat, which is limited to 9 seats only. That is 27,000 yen or approximately $176. The premium seat, which is 21,000 yen, and the standard seat, which is 17,000 yen. There is also an additional service fee of 700 yen required per ticket when purchasing. The experience is centered on the heart, technique, and body of sumo, but starts with an elegant multi-course Japanese dinner. The program then moves to immerse guests in the traditional sport of sumo, where you can watch the wrestlers' training routines up close, learn the rules through a comical presentation, and feel the power of the clashes as it reverberates through the floor during the live matches. Some lucky guests will even get a chance at audience participation, chosen by a lottery, where members of the audience will be able to take on one of the wrestlers in the sumo ring. The evening rounds off with an optional commemorative poster with the wrestlers as a group. With the stunning lighting, immersive bilingual narration in English, the experience is perfect for anyone who is a first time sumo fan, but also allows for an enjoyable show for sumo spectating veterans. So, yeah, I like that they're doing a lot of this bilingual
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff in these shows now. They don't have to, if they wanted to keep it at everything Japanese, but I like that they are anticipating people from overseas coming, and English happens to be one of those languages that most other countries end up teaching. So it is one of those things that more people would be able to uh, participate with. I just think it's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
And right now I'm trying to find it because I switched over. I pulled up my Wonderlog page so I can see if I can find this and check it out. And I can't find it the normal way, so I'm gonna go on the website and see if I can pull the information there and just tag it. I just want this on my list so I remember to check this out. So
Yeah, I like that it's the full experience. I mean,
mm-hmm.
yeah, you're going to pay, anywhere between 70 to $100 just for regular seats, but you're getting a full dinner and a meal.
It's like when you
If you
go to medieval times in a way.
Yeah, if you go to medieval times, if you go, I know in Florida near the attractions, they actually still have American Gladiator dinner.
Mm-hmm.
They've got the medieval times down there. They've got a couple of different dinner theater type shows, and they all run around the same thing, anywhere between 75 and 100, 150, depending on what seats you're getting.
Mm. All right, I'm just going to have to just keep this tab open, or just throw it into a. I'm just gonna throw this into my Japan travel folders bookmark, so I know. That's what I'm going to have to do. That way, I can remember to go check it out later because I definitely want to check this out. I really do. Now, we're gonna since we do have a little bit of time, I am going to cover this last story, and it's kind of interesting. And if this was really a really real thing, when you're watching subtitled anime, the honorifics would slightly change. You might think I'm crazy for saying that, but let me explain it to you. It seems that there are reports that using Chan in Japan constitutes sexual harassment, and it's a little exaggerated. Now, before we get deep into this, let's start with the basics. Pretty much anyone with a passing interest in the Japanese language or culture in general know that the suffix san always gets used after people's name in Japan. It often gets approximated to Mr. or Miss, but san's actual nuance is a little more complex since it's used after given names as well. But the key point is that it's used as a sign of polite respect, since addressing someone with no suffix at all in Japanese can sound brusque and overbearing. But it's not the only common username suffix. There's also chan, C-H-A-N, which has a warmer, more affectionate tone. Now, it's not necessarily affectionate in the sense of a romantic affection either, as chan is used in talking to kids. It's also pretty common with friend groups of young women, and it's not shocking to be used by guys addressing platonic female friends for whom they're on good terms with. And I mean strictly good terms, platonic friendships, you know? And now let's get to the story here. Following a verdict on October 23, a number of Japanese media outlets have posted articles with headlines saying in one way or another that the Tokyo District Court ruled that using Chan in the workplace constitutes as sexual harassment. The nature of the modern news being what it is, The urge to condense a complex issue down to its pithiest, most impactful single bite summary is understandable, but that doesn't make it applaudable, though, and there are definitely other factors to take into consideration here. The lawsuit was filed by an ex-employee of Sagawa Express, one of Japan's largest home delivery service companies. The woman, who was in her 40s, began working at Sagawa's sales office in Tokyo 2020. Among her co-workers was an older man who she would eventually sue for sexual harassment. According to the suit, the man's conduct caused a woman to suffer from depression. After she was diagnosed with the condition, she took a leave of absence before later quitting in 2021. 2 years later, the woman filed lawsuits against the man and Sagawa Express, seeking monetary damages from sexual harassment. In this past February, Sagawa settled out of court for 700,000 yen, which is slightly under $5,000. But the man chose to fight the accusations in court, ultimately losing the case. Oops. Because the woman's grievances included the man's use of Chan when addressing her, the verdict resulted in alarmist headlines presenting the situation as the court ruling that Chan qualifies as a punishable sexual harassment. And it is true that, explaining in the ruling, presiding judge Shinji Tahara mentioned the suffix, calling it unnecessary in a business environment and saying that even if it used with the intent of friendly familiarity, in light of the age and gender difference between the plaintiff and defendant, and the fact that they were simply co-workers without a personal friendship, the use of Chan could be considered offensive to the woman. Basically, if you have a co-worker and you're just co-workers, you're not family, you're not friends. If you're friends and you work together, it's okay to use Chan. If you're just co-workers, just talking briefly, strictly business, going back and forth, you don't use it. Though she was awarded far less than the 5.5 million yen she was seeking from the man in the suit, the court has ordered him to pay her 220,000 yen in damages. Well, now. However, framing this as using Chan is now legally classified as sexual harassment, or if a man uses Chan in talking to a woman when it means he's a creep, is a gross oversimplification. What the soundbite headlines are leaving out is that in addition to addressing the woman with Chan, he also had a pattern of telling her things like, "You're cute and you have a good figure." So there is that. As such, this doesn't appear to be a case of someone whose conduct and conversational habits were otherwise impeccably courteous and getting the judicial hammer slammed down on him for just being too familiar in his choice of suffix. Instead, it paints a picture of someone who didn't understand or didn't care about the common sense boundaries in a professional environment. It's the basket of questionable comments that got him in trouble, not the use of Chan. So using Chan and being a little flirty and stuff like that, because unless you're really chill with somebody in the workplace, there really is no reason to compliment them on their looks or how they're looking. And I get it, and I understand it, but I wouldn't say to Mako, "That's a nice blouse you're wearing," if I've only been working for her for 2 days. If we've been working together for a week and we've gone out maybe for like after hours drinks, sure, because we've kind of hit that level. There is that. Linguistic fine points and societal norms often don't have the one-to-one translation into other cultures. But if you're looking for one that has the tone as Chan basis, it's similar to putting a Y or an IE on someone's name. For example, let's say you have a coworker whose name is Susan. Calling her Susie could be warm, friendly way of speaking, but it's important to make sure that she's comfortable with being addressed that way and to respect her opinion if she's not. Like, we all call Mako or Mako-chan. Maybe one day she's like, "I prefer that you call me Makoto." Same thing. Insisting on calling her Susie, regardless of how she feels about it, would be inappropriate. And if you're choosing to call her that while saying things like, "You sure are a good-looking Susie," or "nice bod Susie," then yes, that's not cool for multiple reasons. And doing it to Mako-chan will guarantee you a black eye, a swollen lip.
I don't know. It depends.
It depends on which day ends in Y.
No, depends on what follows. You want to, say something to me, say something nice. That's, all well and good. I have threatened to rip people's arms off and beat them with them.
I've been
So
there
it
for a
all
couple of
depends.
those.
Yeah, it all depends.
Mm-hmm. It's like the saying, I'll beat a motherfucker with a motherfucker. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we've all seen that meme. All of which you say is not using Chan when got the man accused of sexual harassment in Japan, but unilaterally just saying that it's okay to press past established baseline formality when dealing with a woman, which is true in any language or culture. To summarize, to say to a girl, to a woman, like, how are you today, and adding Chan, and then throwing in extras, like, even though you're trying to be nice, it's frowned upon and not accepted. Keeping it at have a nice day, Ray-chan, that's fine. Going, have a nice day, Ray-chan, you look amazing as you walk away. No, you don't do that. And Boz06 says, what anime had that to beat one person with another person? It's probably happened in every other episode of Ranma 1/2 and Dragon Ball Z. Probably. And looking at the time, I think it's time for us to call it. What do you think?
I am good with that.
All right. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're telling you straight up here. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find not just our weekly podcast, you will find convention reports, anime reviews, editorials, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay review interviews, and so much more on our site. And that's at animejamsession.com. And while you're at it, please subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any app that you use for podcasting. And by the way, if there's a podcasting app that you have, you can't find us, please shoot us an email and I'll get that rectified for you ASAP. And follow us on our social media pages. It's Anime Jam Session on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Blue Sky. And to everybody that follow us on our socials, thank you so much. We really appreciate you, and we couldn't do this show without you. And if you're still watching us, down below is direct links to our tip jars. Direct links to our Stream Elements, Streamlabs, and Ko-Fi pages if you want to throw us a few dollars. Or if you want, you can cheer us on with some bits. You can also sub to the channel and give out gift subs. And everything that goes into this channel pays for the hosting, the website, the hardware, everything. So that's how we give back. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Mako-chan.
I am going to be training tomorrow.
Ah, nice. My last words is I should go grab the other suitcase and start packing and then put it away. But I don't have like a sheet to cover it, so I need to get one of those. So I'll look into that. Anywho, that is it. End of list. I think it's time to go. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Mako-chan will be here. I will be here. And well, hopefully you'll be here with us too to participate with us on the show. So I think we're done. We're going to get up and out of here. So I'm Ranma.
And I am Mako-chan.
Great fight. Great night. See you next week.
Good night.
All right. Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
I almost said say goodnight, Babs. And for those of you who don't know, that came from Burns and Allen, where you go say goodnight, Gracie. So, anywho, we're getting that one out of here. We'll see you all next week.
podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!